Hi, this is Darren from Targa. I just wanted to take a couple of minutes to take you very quickly through a cost calculator which I put together recently for a window cleaning company. They're quite a big company locally. They do commercial and domestic windows, and this particular calculator, which I'm demoing now, is for their residential side. Okay, now there are a number of mandatory fields. Let me just demonstrate this very quickly. That if the customer hasn't selected them, they'll highlight. Okay. Uh, there are pros and cons with this, but I've explained the reasoning for them in a much longer video. If you want to take a look at that, the link to that will be in the comments. Now, you can see here that the selections made display that we've got a terraced house with 4 beds in Spalding. We've got one window to clean. Now that sounds a bit ridiculous, but here's the point. Uh, there is a minimum charge which the client asked me to apply, and for Spalding that's £15. But if I was to go to a different town, you'll see that the minimum charge is actually different, and that's basically because this client is based in Spalding, and it's that they're not basically implying any kind of surcharges for doing work for clients in for their customers in Spalding. If they were to go out to Bourne or Stamford or some other faraway place, then you can understand why they would want to make it worth their while. So I've applied like a little surcharge based on the location. I've just made the selection of one patio door. Now, the reason I'm explaining this to you is because it gives you quite a lot of options. Uh, if when my client said to me, right, this is the cost of cleaning a patio door, I said, okay, what if the patio door is actually part of a conservatory? He went, oh yeah, okay, that needs to be kind of included in the conservatory. So I said, okay, so we're only going to be charging for patio doors if they're separate to a conservatory, but they're included if they're part of the conservatory. He said, yes. Okay, and what about roofs of conservatory? Yep, there's an additional charge for that. So therefore, the patio door selection is either none because they don't have any, a quantity because they do and they're not on the conservatory, or they'll actually select the option which is on their conservatory. And as far as conservatories go, they might not have any at all, or they might have a small one, small on the roof, medium roof, or a large one. Okay, I'm going to just select small conservatory. I'm going to leave these for now. I'll come back to them very quickly soon. You would like us to clean the windows of your small conservatory. Doesn't mention the roof because they didn't select the one with the roof. And the patio doors are part of your conservatory. So this is a nice, although it's in list form, it's a nice visual summary of what they've selected. And of course, here's the cost. If they want to go back to make other selections, for example, they want to change and actually get the conservatory roof cleaned as well, then they can do that. Okay. A couple of other points I want to show you here is that there are gutters and fascias and also solar panels. There are minimum charges for each of these services. So therefore, the gutters and fascias, although the minimum charge is applicable to this section and not just to gutters or fascias, um, there is a specific cost applied to the cleaning of gutters and a different cost applied to the cleaning of fascias and soffits. However, there is a discounted combined cost when those lengths actually meet. Okay, and the other longer video will explain what happens if the customer was to select greater lengths of soffits than they have of gutters and vice versa. Quick point here is that when I demoed this to my client originally, I had originally put options for small, medium, and large windows with separate prices, which I kind of made up just for the demo. And after some thought, he said, how will the average customer know the difference between a small, medium, and large window? Can we make it any simpler? And the result was, yeah, let's just call all windows a window. We'll just deal with them by numbers. And he's applied, or I think I've applied at his request, the ability to charge per window at a fixed rate up to 10. And then from 10 onwards, those additional windows are charged at a discounted rate. That's pretty much it for this calculator. But what he said to me was, this can clearly do more than some of those that I've seen before. And he had actually sent me a demo, like a link for me to look at. But what he said was, can my lads use this while they're out on the job and someone comes up and asks for a quote? So what I then did was I took this calculator, I added all the tweaks that he wanted to for me to add at the time, but I have configured it so that in a staff only mode, it will present the member of staff with the option to select their name from a drop down, and subsequently the messaging throughout the calculation process and in the confirmation email, which I'll show you in a minute, is geared towards the employee providing the customer with a quote, and it provides the guy's name as well. That also means that the boss can gauge which employees have been doing well and how close to meeting their targets they've had for that particular month. So it's a good lead generation tool as well as like an employee tracking mechanism. So let's just go through to this page, and I'm going to send this email to myself. And I'll also show you what the difference is between an email generated by the customer, which is what I'm acting as now, and as a member of staff. So if you have any questions, or if you've got any uh, suggestions on how something like this might be able to work for you in your business, and of course you don't need to be a window cleaning business owner to to benefit from a cost calculator, get in touch. The links are in the comments below, and it'd be great to hear from you.